This is the story of the great god Ku and his coming to the island of Hawaii. There was much commotion in the skies with the celebration of Ku's arrival. Sharp flashes of lightning and loud cracks of rumblings of thunder filled the air. The people knew that something unusual was happening, but when he walked into their village, they did not recognize Ku as a god. His strength compared to the other men was enormous. Ku, come now and take a rest, the men shouted to him when they grew tired. Ku would answer, I will in a moment. The men teased Ku, trying to get him to stop working so they wouldn't seem lazy, but he just kept working. They knew there was something extraordinary about Ku, but the men never imagined he was a god. Ku lived among the people as a planter. With powerful hands, he moved huge piles of soil effortlessly, and with his his long digging stick, he alone did the work of 20. Alongside the other men who worked his plot of land, Ku planted, weeded, and moved the earth, and his cheerful nature was pleasing to everyone around him. His muscular body was deep, rich brown, attracting the attention of many young women in his apua'a. Sometimes a woman caught sight of him from the halekuku, where cloth was made. Using her mallet against a wooden anvil, she signaled to others of Ku's presence with a special secret rhythm. He comes, he comes. They stole discreet glances at him and sighed, Ku is so strong and handsome. One day, while walking through a forest valley, Ku happened upon a young woman who was collecting coconuts from a candlenut tree. She was so busy planning her designs that she did not notice Ku. She sang a little mele, a song her tutu had taught her as a child. With graceful motions, she gathered the nuts, and her sweet voice rose and mingled with the leaves and fragrant flowers around her. Ku was enraptured. He noticed a dried branch lying across the path and stepped on it to attract her attention. Startled, the young woman looked up, and recognizing Ku, she smiled warmly. "Aloha, Ku," she said. They talked of the beautiful day, the popping white clouds in the sky, and the cooling breezes. But as their mouths spoke these words, their eyes and hearts sang of love. The village couldn't help but share their happiness. The heavens must be pleased with this union, they remarked with pleasure. The couple vowed to build a life together and love one another, no matter what might come between them. One day, this promise would be tested. Ku and his wife had 2 children, a girl and a boy. The children loved and respected their parents and kupuna, their grandparents. After many years of peace, there came a day when the rain stopped falling. People looked to the dry, cloudless sky with confusion and anxiety. In spite of all their hard work in the fields, the plants started to wither and die. There must have been some neglect of the gods, some prayers forgotten with the business of digging and planting, some terrible insult unknowingly made. Their plaintive cries rose up into the sunny sky, but no rain came. A priest from the neighboring village, a powerful kahuna, was called upon to try to appease the anger of the gods. He chanted special prayers and made the proper offerings, but still no rain came. He shook his head and muttered, "It must have been some terrible insult. Maybe things will be better when the rainy season comes." But they couldn't wait until then. The people would starve. As all the people looked up at the sky, Ku was gazing down, deep in thought. His face showed the enormous conflict within him. He knew of a way that could help, but was filled with profound sadness at what would be lost.
Ku pulled his wife away from the rest of the family. He said, "My wife, I love you and our children with all of my heart. There is something that I can do to remedy this situation, but I must go far away." Ku's wife said, "Ku, I have vowed to love you no matter what happens. I will always love you, and now I must let you go." She collected the children and they followed Ku through the forest to an open field. Gradually he began to sink down into the ground as though the earth were swallowing him up. Soon all that remained was the top of Ku's head, and his wife wet the soil around him with her tears. An ulu tree suddenly sprouted from the spot where Ku's head had been. Ku said to his wife, "Roast the fruit well, remove the skin, and then you and our children shall eat." Ku's wife dug up the shoots and shared them with the village. The people planted the sprouts all around their district. The breadfruit trees flourished and soon spread across the land, and everyone had ulu to eat. They now knew that Ku was a god, and they would always give thanks to him. and so was the gift of Ku.